Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to do a video that's basically kind of like a Black Friday haul. It's kind of what I would call this video in general, just all the movies I bought on Black Friday. Of course, this year Black Friday was a little bit different. Instead of it being just like one day or, Black Friday and then Cyber Monday, it felt like November this year was like all Black Friday, So we had like a week of Black Friday officially, but really I've been buying movies the whole month, even now into December. But the movies I'm going to talk about today are just from November, so we'll call them my Black Friday buys and just kind of holiday movies that I've been buying for myself. So we're going to start, these aren't in any particular order, I'm just going to kind of bunch them by kind of how they're packaged. So we'll start with just like some standard packaged discs, and then we'll move into Steelbooks and like Digibooks and like more intricate packaging as we go along. So in no particular order, let's start. This is a Blu-ray. A lot of these are going to be 4K, but this is a Blu-ray to start things off. This is the film Starman. This was a blind buy. I've never seen this movie before, heard about it, and it's a John Carpenter movie, the director. One of my very favorite directors. Still never saw this movie. This could arguably be like his most popular kind of like mainstream movie, it sounds like. So like I said, I've always heard of it, gave it a watch. It was pretty good, but the reason I bought it was because it's on sale, and most of these movies, they're all going to be movies that were on sale that I got at really good prices. For a Blu-ray, I don't buy a whole bunch of just standard Blu-rays anymore, but this one was a good price, and I wanted to get it, and I got to watch it. I'm going to pair it with the second one. So these are two John Carpenter movies. The second one is Village of the Damned. It's a remake of the original Village of the Damned. Again, John Carpenter directed it, and I just kind of thought, I've never seen this. I like the original quite a bit, and I thought really his remake, I was like, how could it not be better? Unfortunately, I was really disappointed with Village of the Damned, John Carpenter's version. It just seems to be kind of past his prime. It just has like a very odd feel to it. If you're a fan of the film, don't want to dissuade you from liking it, and if you haven't seen it, I'd still encourage you to check it out, especially if you've seen the original. I always like kind of contrasting remakes versus the original. Unfortunately, the original still remains superior even to this remake in the hands of John Carpenter. So these are really the only two Blu-rays, I think. Actually, there's another section that'll have some Blu-rays. But starting off with some John Carpenter films, let's keep going. So now we're going to get into 4K stuff. Here's a blind buy. It's still wrapped. You can hear it probably. This is a movie called Whiplash that came out several years ago. As a musician, I feel like I should like this movie, so even though I haven't watched it, I do, expect to like it. I'm not a drummer, but this seems to be a movie about a drummer. I always heard it was really intense. So this movie was, I think it might have been like $10 at Best Buy. It has a much cooler slipcover art. I couldn't find any with the slipcover, so I just got this standard edition that doesn't have like a great front cover in my opinion. But anyway, this is another blind buy. So really we started off with three movies that I hadn't seen and bought. I've only watched those two. Haven't watched Whiplash yet. We'll get to it soon, hopefully. Let's move on to a movie that I definitely have seen, but not in 4K yet. This is It's a Wonderful Life. This was also $10. I want to say I got it from Best Buy. It might have dropped to $10 on Amazon, and then maybe I price matched it at Best Buy because they had it in store and I could just get it that day. So obviously there was no point in me getting it that day because I still have not watched it. It's still sealed, but I've seen this movie many, many times. Heard it's a really great 4K transfer, so looking forward to watching it. Not sure if there's really any new special features on it. It comes with a nice kind of reflective slipcover here. So glad I was able to find it with the slipcover, and let's keep moving into more 4K stuff. Now this one you're probably going to laugh at me. People of a certain age at least. I'm in my mid-30s, and I have never seen The Karate Kid, the original Karate Kid. This is a movie that I should have seen, given my age. Maybe not when it came out theatrically, but at least on television or something. And I do remember it being on TV a lot, but I don't think I ever actually sat down and watched it. So it's still sealed, still haven't watched this one. A lot of these movies you're going to find that I've bought them and I haven't had time to watch them yet. But yeah, the original Karate Kid, it has a remake that happened several years ago. And now there's like I guess a YouTube series that's based on the same story. So it seemed like a good time to go back out and check the original. I haven't seen it yet, like I said, but hopefully, it lives up to what it sounds like. I'm sure it's going to be a little 80s cheesy, but I'm hoping there's a good story here, and I hope it looks good on 4K. So that's the next movie. Here's one that, this is not, talk about two different tones, going from Karate Kid to Requiem for a Dream. This is a Darren Aronofsky film. I know I've seen this movie. I don't know that I've seen the director's cut, which is what this is billed as. So it's the 20th anniversary director's cut, it says. This is not a feel-good film from what I remember, but I am looking forward to seeing it in its director's cut form and in 4K. Fans of this film and fans of Darren Aronofsky, you might want to pick this up. Cool that it came out on 4K, and I think I got this for like $8 at Best Buy. Something like that. Here's another one that I feel like I've seen. 4K release of Glory. It says it's the 30th anniversary edition. So for a movie that's that old, I really should know it better. I think I rented it on VHS way back, when Hollywood Video and Blockbuster were around. Me and a buddy rented it. It was probably like in full frame aspect ratio. So looking forward to watching this not only in its original widescreen, but in 4K resolution. Moving on quickly, here's a movie that I saw in the theater when it came out, Baby Driver. I really like this movie quite a bit. Kevin Spacey's in it. He's kind of blacklisted from Hollywood, it seems like, but I'm not going to let that hold me back from enjoying this film, and I don't think it should do that for you either. This is a really good, fun movie, just kind of like a very original movie. I enjoyed seeing it in the theater, so I'm hoping I enjoy it just as much owning it on home media. Unfortunately, no slipcover, but what you gonna do? It was on sale. Now here's one. It is opened, but I haven't actually watched these. I think I just pulled the digital code out or something. This is the Star Trek trilogy of the newer Star Trek movies. It's called the Kelvin Timeline. So I already own these movies. I told myself I wasn't going to keep double dipping and triple dipping on movies, but this was on sale for like under $30 for all three films in 4K, plus the Blu-ray discs, which don't have all the special features, but it has some at least, and the digital code. Anyway, I sprung for it. It was just kind of, I just wanted to have it in 4K. I read the reviews. They said the 4K, resolution increase was worth it on a lot of websites, so decided to go for it. I really like these movies, especially the first two, and I'm just a Star Trek fan in general. We're going to have some more Star Trek stuff towards the end, so stick around for that. Anyway, these are the three newest Star Trek films in a trilogy, single case, nice and takes up very little space on your shelf on 4K. All right, here's a pretty new one. I think this just came out. So I guess I probably pre-ordered this. I didn't actually buy it during Black Friday, but I pre-ordered it and it was just released around that time. I really think I got this like a week ago maybe. This is Total Recall, the original Total Recall on 4K. Comes with a nice little slipcover. And it says it's the 30th anniversary edition, and it's got a 4K restoration. I do own this on Blu-ray already. That edition was called like the Mind-Bending edition or something, but from what I've read, and I haven't watched this yet, is the Blu-ray disc in it. So if you don't have 4K yet, the Blu-ray disc that's included with the movie also is still a remastered and supposed to be an improved version from the Mind-Bending edition. So I've got that old edition, and now I've got this one in 4K. Hoping it looks good. I've read some controversial things about the transfer online, but all in all, this should be the best way to view the movie on home video at least. Here is one. I feel like I should pair this with a Steelbook version of another film, but let's just go in the order I have it. This is It Chapter 2 on 4K. This thing was like $8 or $7 at Best Buy. Has a nice little cardboard, kind of like sturdy slipcover. I didn't really enjoy this film as much as I liked the first It that came out in 2017, I think. But you got to own both of them, I feel like. I can't just have the first one. So when I saw this one was on sale, I went for it. This is It Chapter 2. Very long movie, but very dark movie. And, it's just the second half of the, of the story that we got in Chapter 1, I suppose. So if you're a fan of the first film, you may have been let down a little bit by this one. But, you kind of got to own both, I guess. Moving on, this is the last in just the standard kind of packaging. Knives Out. Love, love, love this movie. Saw it in theaters. Then I think I showed it to my wife by renting it on Prime Video. And then it dropped down to $10 for the 4K edition and snatched that up real quick. It's still sealed, still haven't watched it, but like I said, I've seen it twice before. Not in 4K though, so looking forward to enjoying it. This was probably like my favorite film of 2019, which is when I think it came out. So good. If you haven't seen it and you like kind of like whodunit murder mysteries, but like in a modern twist, check it out. Very, very good movie. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to this is kind of like its own next section. These are going to be Criterion releases. So Criterion releases a lot of artsy kind of films that don't get a lot of mainstream releases. If you don't know who Criterion is, if you do, then these are the films that I picked up. These are generally quite expensive, you know, easily over $20, sometimes closer to $30, but all of these were at $20, and I think a lot of them still might be. So check out, I think Amazon is where I picked these up. Bicycle Thieves. Classic kind of Italian film, never seen it, actually enjoyed it quite a bit. I noticed that it's on HBO Max, so if you don't want to spring 20 bucks for it, you might want to check it out there before you spend money on a hard copy. A lot of these Criterion movies are actually on HBO Max, I've noticed. The next one in the Criterion section is 12 Angry Men. I probably haven't seen this movie since I was in high school. I think we watched it like in a class for some reason. So I'm hoping it holds up, hoping it's still enjoyable, still sealed, still haven't watched it since I bought it. The Great Escape gets a Criterion treatment. I already owned this on Blu-ray before, but the video transfer wasn't very good, and I don't remember if it had a bunch of special features, so this should fix both those issues, getting an improved transfer, that is, and hopefully some more special features to enjoy. Good prison-like war classic, The Great Escape on Criterion. Here's another one from Criterion, Paths of Glory. This is a Stanley Kubrick film. I really, really like this movie. I think I really like how it looks, you know. It's not necessarily a feel-good movie, it's a war film, but a very good black and white film with Kirk Douglas in the lead. Paths of Glory on Criterion. Been waiting to get this one for a while, and when it dropped below 20 bucks, I went for it. Here's one called Blow Up. Now, I already own Brian De Palma's remake Blow Out, which is also a Criterion release, and I finally got to see the original. This is also on HBO Max. So between Bicycle Thieves and Blow Up, if you haven't seen those movies, you could check them out. If you have HBO Max, you could stream them there before springing the cash for a fancy Criterion release like I did. And here's the last one for Criterion, and this is probably like the fanciest one as far as packaging, Do the Right Thing. Now, of course, after I bought this, now it's been announced that there's going to be a 4K release of Do the Right Thing, which probably won't have as many special features as this release, but, you know, hopefully looks, you know, quite a bit better just with the 4K resolution. So, haven't opened this yet. I'm thinking maybe when the 4K comes out, you know, keep this for the special features, and then maybe the 4K will just be the best visual presentation. We'll see. All right, so that's all of the Criterion releases. So now let's move into like Steelbook, kind of Digibook stuff. So here is, and it's kind of hard to see, the packaging is kind of messed up. It's not damaged, but there is just kind of like a film underneath here. A Quiet Place. This is a Steelbook release from Mondo. It's got Mondo art on it. So there is a standard 4K release of A Quiet Place already that is quite a bit cheaper, but this went on sale for like 12 bucks or something, so I grabbed it. Yeah, and it's 4K, so it's got 4K and the Blu-ray disc, and there's probably a digital code in there, even though I don't see that it says that on the outside. Anyway, I'm a sucker for Steelbooks, and it's got some kind of cool alternate Mondo art on the front, so went for that one. Here is a Steelbook 4K for Gremlins that went even cheaper after I bought this. I think I bought this for like $13 at Best Buy, and then I saw it drop to $10 a few days later. You know, this isn't something I was going to buy a Steelbook of, but I do kind of like the art on here the more I look at it. It's a fingerprint magnet, which is why I'm trying not to touch it. It's very glossy, but, you know, it is a cool art, you know, rendition. And on the back you've got, what's that guy's name? The guy with the gray hair, the gremlin. I should know better. But anyway, this is the Gremlins 4K Steelbook release. It might be a Best Buy exclusive. I'm not entirely sure. Here is another Best Buy Steelbook. This is It Chapter 1, or I think it was just called It when it came out. Very simple artwork, just has It at the bottom there, and it's a matte finish, so it doesn't get too many fingerprints on it. Something I will say about this release, this was I think like $7. This might be the cheapest one that I picked up. But what I will say about the Steelbook version is that there's just the 4K disc inside. You don't get the bonus, or not bonus, but you don't get the Blu-ray disc with bonus features on it. So if you want the Steelbook version, just realize you're going to be missing out on some special features. But for that price of $7, I definitely decided just to go for it. And here is the next Steelbook, also from Best Buy. I think it's a Best Buy exclusive. This is a double feature of the Evil Dead movies, the original Evil Dead movies. So you have the Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. Comes in this Steelbook, which also has like a removable slip cover. And what's cool about this, unlike that Steelbook that we just talked about, is that even though there's 2 movies in here, there are 4 discs. So you get, each film has the 4K disc, but they also each have the original Blu-ray, which has all the special features on it. So when I first saw this was being released, I thought, oh great, it's just going to be the 4K discs and none of the cool making of features. Evil Dead 2 has a really cool making of feature that I remember. And so I was glad to see that they did include those Blu-rays in here. Cool Steelbook, cool art, I like it. I think it's like $25 or something. Check it out at Best Buy. I'll keep that here. Here's one that's not opened because I've seen this movie many times, although not on 4K. E.T., the Extraterrestrial, Steven Spielberg classic. You know, I already got Jaws for $10 earlier this year on 4K, and this guy came down to $10 also in a lightning deal on Amazon. And it's got this, I forget what you call this front design where like you move it and it, you can see the bicycles kind of traveling across the moon there. Don't know if that's showing up on camera or not. It's also got this CD inside, I think, that has like the soundtrack on it. So for $10, I jumped on this fast because I knew it'd be going real quick. Here's the Digibooks now. The Hitchcock collection. I was just waiting for this to go down in price. It was like $70 maybe when it first came out and dropped down to like $50, and then I bought it. I had this on Blu-ray. What's different between the Blu-ray collection and this is that it loses North by Northwest. I don't know why. It's probably a rights issue between the studios that own those. So in this one you only get 4 films, but 4 classic Hitchcock films: Rear Window, Vertigo, Psycho, and The Birds. And I think Psycho has like an uncut version that I don't think I've seen before. But all the Blu-ray discs are on here too. This is a stacked Digibook. If you don't like the packaging where the discs slide into the cardboard sleeves, that's what this has, but I do appreciate that it makes it a slimmer, to put on your shelf. It saves space. Almost identical packaging comes with the Back to the Future trilogy that just was released for, what are we at now? What anniversary? Like the 35th anniversary, I think. But yeah, this is in 4K. I haven't watched these yet. I owned these on Blu-ray before, but they never looked that great, so I'm hoping that the 4K really is improved. It's also the same Digibook packaging. You pull it out and it's a cardboard sleeve. So if you don't like that, you may not appreciate. I also think this cover art's pretty horrendous. I like the original one where it's them just standing in front of the DeLorean and like he's looking at his clock and Doc Brown's there. This one I don't like this alternate art. It's pretty bad, I think. And here's one that, I feel like I keep buying these. The Dark Knight Trilogy. These always seem to go on sale. I remember on Blu-ray I picked them up for like $10 on Black Fridays, and I think even The Dark Knight Rises maybe for like $5 one time. So if you wait long enough, these always go down in price. Pick this whole trilogy up for $40. I'm not the hugest fan of this trilogy, but when you see it for that price and on 4K, I decided to pick it up and check it out. Now, this last section, these are like the big boxes. Let's start with this one. Let's make sure it looks good on camera. This is called, this is 4K. This is a 4K release. The Columbia Classics Collection Volume 1. So presumably a Volume 2 coming out at some point. But look at the craftsmanship of this thing. It opens up. It's got these little magnets that hold these doors in. And it's got this cool Columbia logo inside. The movies are here, stored inside here. And then there's this really nice, if I can get to it, book that slides in the back. I can't quite pull it out and I don't want to damage it in any way. But this is just a really, I wasn't sure how it was going to arrive in the mail. I'm glad to say it arrived undamaged. And it just looks so nice. So the films included in here are Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, Lawrence of Arabia, Dr. Strangelove, Gandhi, A League of Their Own, and Jerry Maguire. Those last two seem kind of like a strange inclusion with those other films, but I think maybe they were just trying to do a broad range. We'll see what they come up with for Volume 2. But this was like $90 and I just sprung for it because it was easily over $100 before that for the 6 films. And I just love the packaging. Talking about packaging, here's a very similar looking set that's actually from a few years ago, but it was on sale. There was a lot of Star Trek stuff on sale. So I picked up this Star Trek 50th Anniversary Edition. This includes a lot of things in it. So it's the original series of the Star Trek show. Then there's the original series cast movies, all 6 films. This is not 4K, by the way. This is just a Blu-ray release. And then we have the animated series. That's what I haven't seen, is the animated series that completes the original. The first show got canceled after 3 seasons, so I guess there's 2 seasons maybe of the animated series to complete their 5-year mission. Haven't seen that. Not sure I expect it to be that good, but it'll be fun to check it out. This is a really nice box. I'm not going to open it up here because, again, this isn't an unboxing video and it's already been long enough, but it's got some nice interior packaging, really sturdy, just kind of like that Columbia Classics collection. And here is the most recent thing I got. It's still on sale as of recording this video. If you're a horror fan like me, you got to appreciate this. The Friday the 13th collection deluxe edition from Scream Factory. This is kind of a big box. I'm not a big fan of big clunky boxes that take up a lot of space. And the reason it's this big is because each movie has its own individual disc. Now, while I really like how this looks as far as the artwork, the custom artwork on almost all sides of it, it is just really a big heaping box. And I do wish that there was a way to condense all these discs into a smaller form factor, but this thing was like $150 or something when it first came out, and it's dropped down, and I think still is currently at $110, which I think is a pretty good deal for 12 movies I think we have, and some of these have been mastered in 4K, but they're not 4K discs. This is all just a Blu-ray set, so until we get the 4K release of these films, this is the one to own if you're willing to spend the money. And yes, I've bought these before. I bought them on DVD. I bought the last Blu-ray edition that came in like a tin case, and now there's this edition. So I keep buying these movies, and I'll probably keep buying them even when they're on 4K. These are not great films, but if you're a horror fan and you love Jason Voorhees and the Friday the 13th movies, then you're really going to appreciate this set. So this is closing out all the movies I bought for this holiday season. I'm not sure I've ever bought so many movies before. Again, because Black Friday is usually just 1 or 2 days, between that and like Cyber Monday, and that's usually the window that I buy a lot of movies in. But yeah, that's kind of my holiday haul of movies for this year. If you enjoy any of these particular movies or are fans, let me know in the comments. Also, let me know movies that you picked up or that you thought were the best deals that you were able to find during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, or just the whole month of November, as it seems was kind of our Black Friday month for this year. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video and taking the time to go through all these with me. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next episode.